Hey all, Dr. Jared here, coming to you with part 7 of our summer book club from the Max Living book, The 5 Essentials to Real Health. Talking about mindset today. So as we dive through these essentials, it could be argued that mindset is the most important essential and maybe the most difficult to quantify because, frankly, in your mindset, it's influenced by what you personally think, how you have evolved or grown up, what you watch, whether you watch the news, whether you watch something more uplifting, what you look at on social media, also the friends that you have, the family you grew up in, the place that you work, the church that you go to. I mean, your mindset is influenced by so many factors. And then additionally, it's affected by how much you invest in it, even in like the quality of your sleep and micro trauma processing. And if you put medications into your body and, just all these different things influence mindset. And like I said, very, very difficult to quantify. So, in the concept of mindset, while I think everybody wants to be happy, healthy, strong, there are certain factors that you can look at that may help you have the best mindset that you can have, regardless of your life circumstance, regardless of your situation. And so there are a few things, let's say, topics that are in this chapter that, I think just are so vitally important. One is growth versus fixed mindset. So fixed mindset would mean that if you're a person that believes that things cannot change, that you cannot change, that you are the way you are, whether it's saying that I'm not smart, not healthy, not people might say I'm dumb or I'm fat or I'm, and that would be a fixed mindset category, which is pretty much universally been proven to not be true. In fact, the growth mindset, and there's a great book by Carol Dweck called Mindset that talks about this in much more detail. But a growth mindset would be that your brain is neuroplastic, meaning that it's constantly changing, rewiring. It's one of the things that we have to really watch in our social media heavy culture today, and our, with phones with all these dopamine hits and drips that you can be dangerous to have your brain be rewired for short-term gratification on, frankly, maybe I would consider stupid things like, these different games or how many people like your Facebook photo or, whatever that might be. But growth mindset would be, I am able to change. It's that simple. I am able to change. I'm able to adapt. My body is able to get healthier. My brain is able to develop. I can shift my hormones, my disease processes. I have the ability to change the course of my life based on my decisions. So can really make a big difference as well. Second thing that I really liked in this chapter, it talks about who are you? So how do you see yourself? Do you see yourself as a person of value? Do you see yourself as a person who can grow? Do you see yourself as a person who can or is fit, healthy, worthy of abundance, worth investing the money in chiropractic care or food or, whatever it might be, the nicer bed so that you sleep better. But another, again, quoting from this book and another book, which is also available in the clinic called Atomic Habits, my single largest bullet point in the couple times that I've read that book is that you can say you are whatever you want, but ultimately people become their habits. So you might say you're not a morning person, but if you join the military and you get up at 5 a.m. every day for 1, 5, 10 years, odds are your brain is going to adapt and you're going to be someone who is more of a morning person. If you consistently go to the gym 3 or 4 or 5 or 7 days a week, eventually you become a gym person or you become a fitness person, even if you never were in your entire life. Consistency pays off. And so often the I am or I'm not comes from not this healthy place, but from something that they call a limiting belief. It's something that often someone else has put on you, a coach, a parent, a friend, someone that you trusted, someone that you either looked up to or respected, told you what you were, that you weren't smart enough, that you weren't good enough, that you weren't whatever. And the beauty of mindset is you do not have to take that as fact. And so, really looking deep down, when you look at where you're at in your health, what do your habits show? If you tracked your food, what minimum standards do you have? Do you allow yourself to eat fried food every day? Do you allow yourself to eat bread every day? What value do you have? Because ultimately, the value for yourself, the habits that you have are really going to define your mindset. So I would just strongly encourage you to, for yourself, think about how much do you value yourself? What are you willing to invest in? How do you see yourself? Are there any limiting beliefs that you know that you need to work on? If you read, if you think you're not smart in a topic, there's been data that shows that if you read 5 books in a short amount of time and apply them, that you can become an expert on most topics, within a few months, or considered in the top 10%. And lastly, for all of this, with mindset, for long-term change, there needs to be a big why. In most cases, you're doing it for someone other than yourself. Are you setting an example for your children or your grandchildren? Are you changing your habits so that it rubs off on your spouse and they're a common enemy? So for example, while I think there is a time and a place for pharmaceutical medicine, I personally think there is so many atrocities that have occurred, whether you look at COVID or whether you look at the opiate epidemic or so many different things, where drug companies have been proven and lost every lawsuit where they've been shown that they manipulated research, they bribed doctors, they changed electronic records, things simply to make more money at the detriment or the harm of creating addiction, of creating death, of creating disease in people. And these are companies who are supposed to profit when they only and solely benefit the human race, to extend life, to save life. And so while, again, not everything is evil about that or something, there are definitely some very large holes or large gaps. And we work strongly to create education that provides people with the opportunity to make a better and wiser decision for their health, for their family's health, and for the longevity of their social structure and support system. So, looking at mindset, we could spend hours and hours on this, but I hope these key points, and I hope this chapter really gave you something to think about. Invest in yourself. It is the best investment you can make, and invest in your habits. Have a very blessed day.